things are just messy. Like things are not going to be perfect whatsoever. I feel like if you have that expectation that it's got to look perfect, you'll never make it. You'll try to record your first podcast. You'll be so pissed. It'll just like, nothing will ever come out.
We don't edit anything. Like it's just
truly.
like put the song on the front end, the back end. That's it.
Done is better than perfect.
Yes.
That is like our full life mantra. I'm like, look, I would love to be a master in some areas and I think that's important, but like there's a whole lot of stuff that's just done, if you know what I mean. Rachel and Drew, welcome to the Earn Your Happy podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited to have you in person here. It's so much fun that you actually got to travel in person. And I love that I get to chat with another husband and wife who work together.
Yeah. It's hard. No, it's not like hard to work together, but it's like hard to meet other people that work together that like don't bite each other's heads off.
And I would agree with you though. I would have to say my husband and I had to learn so much about how to work together in the beginning. We did not do well together in the very, very beginning. Like the first year, I was like, what the hell did I do?
We always say
really
that
worried about it.
As we like grow, as the businesses grow, like our marriage has to expand at the same time and everything, we have to expand in all directions.
We really do.
Because we work together.
Yeah, I can't wait to dive into that. I have a few questions around that because I do think so many people have it as the dream of either retiring their husband or wanting to, bring their husband into the business. And I think setting up kind of the expectations around it and knowing what works is so important. Or you can be kind of walking into a nightmare. Like I literally felt like I was in a nightmare for the first year because him and I were speaking a different language. So what I would love to chat with you about though, is I want to go back to baby Drew and Rachel before you got into exactly what you're doing now. And I would love to know what both of your perspectives were on entrepreneurship and dreaming big.
Yeah. Let me take that one.
Yeah.
Well, we met as COVID was unfolding.
Okay.
And I owned gyms and she had the salon and they were both just full free fall, everything was
shut down.
And it was everything was beginning to get shut down. So we met and like, how's your business? Like awful, like, not
like
good.
Trauma bonding.
Yeah. A little trauma bonding. And then
exactly.
we immediately just got, just started helping each other, with like, SBA loans and for the salons. And then I needed things that I think we were building like a front desk or something. And she was helping me build the front desk and we had our kids together and we just immediately started making moves, taking action to help one another. And that was the beginning, the early days.
Wow. So you literally met, bonded over failing businesses.
Yes.
But then what would you say it was in both of you that you stopped looking at the failure and started going, how in the heck do we make this work?
It just wasn't an option to like have it fail because I was like a single widow mom of 2.
Wow.
Met him on Bumble. And, I remember, the girl has to message the guy first, which I hated. I was like, ugh. So anyway, I messaged him like, I had no idea how to date at the time. I'm like, hi, like, what's up? What are you doing? Totally didn't know how to talk to people.
How's your business?
Yeah, because I was like a workaholic. I mean, that's like all I did was just work and travel and teach. And so then when all those things were like plucked away, it was like, okay, I have to like be home. I can't like go to work. Like what? So anyway, we met and I had messaged him and he's like, oh, I'm building an invisible business that nobody cares about. And I said, oh, well, what is it? And then that's like how we started. Then he's like, can I call you? And I was like, this is weird. Like, he was like, call me, but I also like, both my kids were sleeping with me, at night. And I had one under each arm and I'm just kind of like texting. And I'm like, great. He wants to call me. Like, when am I going to talk to him right here for my kids?
Yeah.
So I like got up and went in the other room, took his call and we talked for like 2 hours about like business and life and just how to like, what is he doing to get his business out of a hole and me too and all of that. So it was really interesting because like we both just kind of like we met the next day and then I'd say, we were for sure like living together by the end of the year.
Wow.
And, he had a son from a previous relationship. I had 2 kids from my previous marriage and it just like kind of, I don't know, everything just kind of like fit into place.
Is that crazy to look back on and be like you kind of can't believe that happened and that it all worked out the way that it did?
Not really. I think it was supposed to happen for us. It was like, it was such a it was such a fit,
Yeah.
you know? And like we both had kind of fizzling relationships that were kind of not moving anywhere.
Yeah.
And then for me, like when I met her, I knew there was a lot of responsibility there because now there's an expanded potential family and there's young kids, you know, and then the absence of a dad, you know. So as all that kind of just was there, it wasn't there and it was there. I don't know, you could sense something there, you know, with us and what we're doing, and it was immediate. There was I don't even know what to call it. There's a connection and electricity around her and I, just obviously her and I, you know, romantically, but also there's a lot of things happening around us. Like we were responsible. She was responsible for her team. I had a team, and we just had a lot we were doing. So it just kind of made sense.
Okay, so I know there's going to be women who are listening like, okay, how did you go into that relationship? Like, were you both doing personal development? Like, there must have been a lot of things you guys had to like talk through, be able to talk about hard things really quickly. Where were you guys both like personal development wise and being able to have those hard conversations?
Yeah. I mean, well, she had been through some things, you know.
Yeah.
I've always been a super nerd with development and also was trying to become a version of the guy I am now, and then to attract someone like her, you know. So I'd been geeking out on stuff like that for a long time, and she had her own story, you know. So
yeah. So like I said, I was a single widow mom of 2 kids. So the person that I was married to actually just had, we were building a house at the time, and our contractor basically, like, there was liens coming onto the property left and right, and the contractor basically stole all the money that we had. So we went from like having, you know, things to like having nothing overnight, and then, you know, compile a brand new business, 2 young kids. My son Evan was 2.5 at the time. Kenzie was, I think, 5. And then the man I was married to tried to take my life and then took his.
Oh my God.
So it's like I'm processed. I mean, by the time I met Drew, it had been almost about 3 years. And so I had already like gone through grief share at my church multiple times. I've gone through like therapy and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, really just kind of throwing myself into just taking care of my kids and working. Like I didn't really like make time for relationships. I didn't really care to have, you know, much of a relationship. I was just kind of like, okay, I need to, because at a certain point, like I had to work. I had to get my, you know, personal life back in order financially. The business always did well, but it was like my personal stuff. Like I had to like not let that interfere with the business thing that was going so well. Because if both of them went down, it'd be like, I mean, we'd lose everything. So I'd already gone through a lot of that. And then just my faith really, like that allowed me to just keep going. And then when we met, it was very much like, I think my mom and just everyone was like, Rachel, like you need a date. You can't just like be alone forever, you know? And my mom's like, I think also my mom was like, well, if you met someone and you got married, then I wouldn't have to babysit all the time. So I think it's part of that too.
Yeah, your mom's like speeding it along.
Yes. So like my mom was so happy to babysit while we like had, you know, our first probably, I don't know, 10 or so dates just to kind of like see if this was going to go anywhere. But we ended up, we were both building an online company at the same time. This was like, you know, in the beginning of COVID, like I launched my first round of coaching for salon owners in like January of 2020, not knowing everything that was going to go down. And then him too, he was building an online fitness coaching company. And so we were both already doing that. And he was really good at like sales and marketing. I was really good at social media and organic. And so like when we met, it was kind of like we filled in each other's gaps in that sense. And then also, of course, in like a personal sense, you know, him with Ollie and then me with Kenzie and Evan. And it just kind of just fit. It was weird. And everyone around us was like, you guys are moving like really quickly, or like you just met him, or all these outside, you know, things. But I just knew in my gut, like, no, like this is what we're doing, you know? And we've never like allowed other, and now everybody else like, you know, is like, oh wow, like, yeah, y'all were meant for each other.
Yeah.
So
I don't feel like I talk about this all the time with people. There's like no timeline specific anything, and there's no good way to get over something or amount of time that I believe that you should take this amount of time to get over this and do this. It's like, I just have heard way too many stories like this where all of a sudden it's just it's so clear to the both of you, or a partnership, or whatever that looks like. So I love hearing this, and I hope that it's permission for people to not have to follow some sort of timeline or guideline of what a relationship should look like. So I would love for you to just catch everybody up on, how you both kind of came together, exactly what you're doing right now, and how that all like started to look, because it sounds like you then had let go of some of your fitness stuff to come into this business.
There was a moment of that. So Jim did that for 8 years, sold that, took it online.
Was it like a smaller personal training or a large box gym, or what was it?
It was like, I was a small gym trying to be a big box gym.
Okay,
so I got into the CrossFit world, and when that happened, and I was, always really into fitness. So fitness is like the best thing that's ever happened to me, and the worst in regards to like business. But I wouldn't trade it, because I kind of cut my teeth by trying to build a gym. It's
understand that.
Very, very difficult. Just the churn is just ridiculous. So you get 3 new members, and you're like, wow, great day, and then 4 quit. You're like, wait a minute, I'm backwards now. So it's an emotional roller coaster. You know? So
because humans, they be humans.
They be human. They be human. And
yeah, they sure do. I had a gym years ago. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Brutal. So I took it online, got in the high ticket space, learned how to do that. We were actually in Florida she went with me to a mastermind, and no one would want to go to like masterminds with me. And she was like, I'm down. Let's go.
I love this for you guys.
We're out there. I did my first high ticket deal on the phone in Florida, not in my oven gym, I'm going from $180 a month memberships to now $2,000, client. And anyway, that changed everything pivoted right there. And I was like, I can do this. I can do a lot of this. I can scale this.
I love hearing that. The one domino for anybody listening, like sometimes just that one tip just makes you go, oh, it now becomes possible.
I remember the night. I remember the room. I remember what the moon looked like. I remember everything, because that was
that
just
from masterminds? Was that from joining a mastermind and being around those people?
Learning about high ticket, because I didn't know what high ticket was, other than like personal training packages. I didn't know like high ticket space.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. So we did that, and then that started going well. Worked my butt off, and with the administrative stuff, like she's so good at like deep details, and I'm really good with people and talking and doing that. And it just started going, and the salons, everything started going at the same time. But early on, she was like, we need to team up. And I was like, no, you got the salon, I got the fitness, and we'll just do that. But we were just working with each other. I was helping her do some sales stuff, and she was helping me with my mess, my admin email mess, And then we were just going back and forth. She had a sales team.
It was a mess.
she had a sales team who wasn't selling nothing. And then she's like, I need your help on this, and she'd been helping me. So I was like, okay. So I got on the phone, and I would close a couple 18K deals, and then I'm like, there's some clients, and then off they went, and I went back into my fitness world, and then, but there was a moment where I'm like, what am I doing? I just did 2 deals on the phone, walking around, helping my wife when we weren't married yet.
No, not
He just knew you were going to be.
Yeah.
Right. And then,
totally.
And then I go back into my fitness space selling $2,000, $3,000. And it's really hard still. The volume is just crazy, and then I'm talking to just all kinds of weirdos, So I had a moment. I don't remember how this exactly went down, but I think I probably went to her. I'm like, we should just team up. And she's like,
what a great idea that you have.
She's like,
I'm so happy you finally came to that conclusion.
Came to your senses.
So once that clicked for me, I was just out. I was done with fitness, and we went all into the beauty space. And then I took over all the marketing. I took over all of the sales, and then I think we grew by like 600% or something wild.
Wow.
Because we could scale it because of her organization and her attention and knowing our client, and then my ability to make content and produce marketing and meta and all the things, and then actually do the deals, And then
Well, he's essentially married, like the client that we're trying to attract is like me from, 5 years prior. So it was like he already knew that person, he's like living and with that person. So,
Market research.
Also, I will say, I think one of the things that was like had him be resistant to us working together at first, it didn't really help that my business was called Babes in Business. And so
Got it.
he was just kind of like, I'm not having Babes in Business XO as my email. I'm sorry. I'm just not. And I'm like, but why?
It's cute.
Well, anyway, now I get it. So obviously like we rebranded, everything became like 7-figure salon. And so we were helping salon owners, with the same frameworks and everything that I had been doing, but like it basically became like more obtainable for other people, men,
You had the
women,
salon. She had the salons crushing
multiple millions a year.
multi 7 figures, on that front. So, and then it just kind of all just.
Well, that's kind of how like the coaching demand began, is like I was teaching for a global hair extension company at the time. I was doing their education. I was like building their academy out, and I was meeting a lot of people like all around the country, and almost everybody after class, like I would be missing flights or like running to my flights, like because, I'm wanting to be valuable and I want to be there and answer questions, but I'm also like, I got to get home by midnight to like be there for my kids. My mom's leaving. And so anyway, a lot of those questions, I was like, okay, they're all repetitive questions. These are, I feel like every person I'm talking to, it's like the same conversation. I need to create like, and I was sending free resources and stuff all the time. Didn't have a funnel, didn't have any of that stuff set up. It was more just like, well, this is what I do. Here's what I do. Here's my, exact template. So I just started like, I would say in 2020, when we all had some time, I started just like really index like all the templates, resources, everything, like making them and then just like filing them away and then just digitizing everything that I had. And so then when it came time to like be able to help people build their business and so forth, I already had that audience from teaching and then just relationships I had built. And then we already had like all the other stuff. We just didn't know how to sell it. And that's kind of like where Drew was able to take it from like, I was doing like 60K months by myself. And then we turn around and we're doing like close to 300K months. So it was just like crazy how, and like nothing changed other than him being able to like work with me together, like us work together and build it together, and for some people like 60K months is like, oh, wow, that's amazing. But like, we weren't able to help as many people until Drew came in the scene because they just didn't know about it. And so now we help salon owners like build their own brand of hair extensions too. And then we're getting into the retail game with like shampoos, conditioners, and so forth. And now we're just helping them like basically get their cost of goods under control and have a product that, their client can't get anywhere else. And so that's kind of how BYOB, Build Your Own Brand, became a thing. And that we launched, I guess it'll be 2 years in March that we built that company like completely from scratch together. And that's just been absolutely insane. Like great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so ladies, you need to look for someone with your opposite skill set on Bumble.
Yes.
So we can multiply whatever your business is.
Totally.
Okay, so let's go over everything because I want whoever's listening to know if they're like the perfect customer for this. So let's go through your offerings. It's so funny. I have literally had your hair that you've done on my head. We figured that out.
Yes.
Because I went and just got my hair done at a salon. This was way before we even knew each other. We found out who was a client of hers. And I was like, this is absolutely insane. While I was in Wisconsin, like just randomly for a few months. So
okay.
Yeah. So we'll shout out to Anna. We'll send her this podcast.
Yes.
But yeah. I thought that was such a crazy connection there.
Small world.
But let's go through all of the things you do again. I know that you just said it, but to really share who is kind of that perfect person who would come into your world and what do all the offerings look like?
Yeah, that's we call her our girl. So we're always looking for a girl in that, because a lot of what we do doesn't make sense for everyone, and our goal is not to have like everyone become a client, But when we find her, what we do just makes a ton of sense. So a salon professional, suite owner, primarily a salon owner with a team. She comes in and launches her own line of luxury extensions. And by luxury, I mean like a marketplace, not like a cute buzzword that the beauty industry uses, but an actual like high quality, and the client cannot get it anywhere else. So they got to have exclusivity, and they got to have the highest quality, in the hair world, like the level 4 Remy stuff, and most of what's out there is not that. So that's where we've made a space for ourselves, is by offering that high quality. And then we don't distribute to customers. We only distribute through the brands that we've helped develop. They own everything. We're just really helpful distribution.
Yes, our inventory is reserved for like the brands that we have helped build. And
I see.
That's it. Because in the extension industry, like extension companies will literally sell to anyone. They'll sell to like you, they'll sell to me, they'll sell to my freaking grandma, like anyone.
Your
And what
competitor,
happens
the client.
is the product itself, like it basically robs the salon owner of profit that she could and should be making by allowing the client to get a wholesale product, a professionally only product at a wholesale rate. And so like
sidestep the salon owner.
Yeah. What's even worse is like a lot of big extension brands, they'll have like hair available to consumers. So they're, B2C and they're also B2B. And they'll also on their website list the actual discount that the customer or that the salon owner could get. So that now the customer knows that the salon owner gets a discount. So it's just like this.
They're like getting their
crazy
margins. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but they're getting like their margins like blasted.
Yeah.
All over the world.
Yeah. So what we do is like basically we help build bespoke brands. And so they come in, we help them get their pricing straight. We help them, we do a full business analysis of their salon. They're always leaking money, like all over the place. And the girl that we help, like she is slammed behind the chair. She's super in high demand. She's really good at her craft, but she just literally can't slow down to work on the business because she feels like she's going to either lose clients or lose money or both. And she's likely missing dinner with her family, missing out on things on the weekends with her kids because she's just so busy. And that person right there is literally who I was. Like, so I know exactly who she is. I know exactly like what her day looks like. And that's the person that we basically are looking for. And that's the person, like when we do meet them, they know like this is absolutely a no-brainer. Like what we can help them do. And we can turn their business around like really fast.
Yeah, we're able to help them not based on like, there's a lot of people out there that are helping in like theory, like there's like, and it's all good. Like you read a book and then you learn something and then you teach that. That's how I think about like teaching theory, valuable, schools often like that, so
it's like teaching someone to swim without getting in a pool. Though.
Yeah, there's nothing like bad about that, but that just kind of is what that is, how we think about it, where what we teach them is like we've physically done what they're looking to do and have dealt with that specific problem times 100, and we can actually give them, I always say it's like there's like a forest and like we've kind of gone through the forest and it's scary and it's hard and we've come back to get them. And it's like, hey, I know you can't see over there, but like follow me and we'll take you through. And they're like, well, what if it's not going to work? I'm like,
we have the path.
Like,
it is beat down.
There's a path in there and there's some monkeys and it's sketchy,
Yeah. I've actually blacktopped this particular path right over here for you.
Yeah. So you have to follow us and we got you, but we've been there, we came back and we're going to, it's kind of how I think about problems in that specific space. So
with the holidays and the new year coming, you probably are looking around your house thinking that you would love to upgrade and freshen up your environment. And there is no easier way to do that than with your window treatments. Nobody covers windows better than Blinds.com. Blinds.com brings your space to life in your way. They have free design help. Other retailers may claim to have experts, but Blinds.com has spent nearly 30 years building an award-winning team of over 100 design consultants that are ready to help you create your dream space. Always convenient, always tailored to you. 3 ways to shop, 1 perfect fit. Whether you want to DIY, have it all done for you, or you're somewhere in between, choose what works for you and rest easy knowing the fit is guaranteed. So the holidays come fast, you guys, and you can freshen up your window treatments fast as well. And unlike some competitors, the price you see is the price you pay. No hidden fees, and there's zero pressure. From blackout and motorized options to classic shutters, Blinds.com has window treatments for every room, style, and budget, even shades for your outdoor space. The Black Friday deals at Blinds.com are going strong all month long, so don't miss your chance to save big. And as always, our listeners still get $50 off when you spend $500 or more. Just use code EARN at checkout. Limited time offer. Rules and restrictions apply. See Blinds.com for details. If you're anything like me, you have the best intentions during the holiday to get somebody that special gift that makes them feel so thought about, but then time runs out and you feel like you're left with a gift that's not going to feel important. You guys, this is where Aura Frames is the solution to do it quickly, but also give a gift that feels so incredibly personal. So who are you always struggling to shop for? You guys, Aura Frames are so incredible because you can upload unlimited photos and video. Just download the Aura app and connect to Wi-Fi, and immediately you can start personalizing your Aura Frames for that special person on your list that you really want to feel thought about. You can preload photos before it ships, you guys. You can keep adding them from anywhere at any time and really personalize this gift and message before it even arrives at their house. So you can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code EARN at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code EARN. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Some of the most important business advice that I have ever gotten is to make sure that I have a solid foundation when I set up my business. And this is what we tell every entrepreneur that we run into, because your business identity is everything that shows what your business is about, from what customers see to what they don't see, like legal paperwork, website security, and state licenses. Get more for your business, more privacy, more tools, more guidance with Northwest Registered Agent. Northwest Registered Agent has been helping entrepreneurs launch and grow businesses for nearly 30 years. They're the largest registered agent and LLC service in the US with over 1,500 corporate guides. Real people who know your local laws and can help you and your business every step of the way. Build your business identity fast, and for just $39 plus state fees, get an LLC, domain name, business email, local phone number, business address, registered agent, and compliance in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/paid earn and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/paid earn. So for that client, this person has found you. And what does like onboarding look like? Meaning, are they working with you through courses? Is it one-on-one? Is it group coaching? Do you go into their business? What does that all look like?
So I think everybody has a different learning style. So the way that our programs and our mentorships work is everything. It's a group format. There's online learning and there's also a one-to-one component. So the one-to-one is going to be like their lead coach who's doing the business assessment, doing the onboarding call, getting them registered for classes, like really helping them step into more of like a CEO role as opposed to just like, hey, I signed up for this thing and I'm going to immediately be successful. I'm like, well, you got to do the thing. You can't just like register for something and not show up, you know? And I think a lot of times people, like when we meet them, they have tried other things or they think they've tried other things, but they haven't really like applied the things or shown up. And so sometimes people can be like a lot of times, like it's funny in the beginning, some of these salon owners will like no-show their onboarding call. I'm like, come on. I'm like, this is literally why you joined in the first place.
This is why you're stuck.
This is why you're stuck. Yeah.
It's right there.
Exactly. So like that's the main thing, is just getting them to honor their word, getting them to actually like be on time. And then from there, like once they do that, we're really like helping personally develop them into being better leaders, better owners, and to stop just thinking like a hairstylist. Like hairstylist thinking is great. It's like they're scrappy, they can do that, but you can't like approach your business like you would approach a color correction. Like you have to have a plan and you can't just kind of figure it out as you go. And so we'll do that. We'll do the business assessment. We'll get their pricing structured correctly. We'll actually like give them a like 20 plus page business plan of like, here are the things we're going to do right now. Here are the things we're going to like put a quirk in and do in 6 months. But that way they can like really prioritize the money moves now and get like quick wins and cash injections into their business. Once they do that, because they're very like, I mean, anyone these days is like instant gratification. Yep. Once they do that, they're like, oh, wow, like those simple things worked. Once they see that, they're like in, and we've had clients that we've worked with for years, and our community is awesome. Like, we have salon owners all across the country. We have some in other countries that we work with, and we have people that have gone to like every single event that we've hosted, every mastermind we've hosted. So the community is great, but like, we also make sure they have the online courses and the other stuff to dive into. If they're more of like a binge learner like I am, they want to like get in there and like, consume everything in a week, they can do that too.
Yeah, you're really turning them into true CEOs and business owners. Like, I have so many girlfriends who have either owned salons or worked in salons. And obviously I've been getting hair extensions since I was 26, you guys, it's almost 20 years. And I have very deep conversations with pretty much everyone, obviously, because you're in it for, for my hair and getting blonde, you guys, that's a 5 to 6 hour appointment for me a lot of times, like, because I'm naturally dark. So with that, I have learned so much about what a good salon owner is, what a bad salon owner is, like how these different people are doing really well, how some are doing terrible. And, something I feel like a lot of people don't even realize, that the way that the industry is actually built, like it's kind of, they're all kind of holding each other down and back because they don't understand how business truly is operated at a level where you can get your time back, where you can start, doing more delegation, raising your prices. Like, it's very much like it's almost like you're in a bubble and everybody's just thinking the same and not getting ideas outside of that. So I love that you guys are really bringing in like a holistic, full business perspective from how to truly run a business that is scalable and that you can actually make money and doesn't feel like you're going to burn out. Cause that's one of the biggest things I hear is like, I'm so burnt out and this just isn't scalable.
And we have 5 kids. So it's like, it's bonkers and it's messy sometimes. And that's like, okay. Because everyone wants to be like perfect, like super neat and orderly, and that's not how it is.
I was literally in the back seat of the car, like eating avocado toast and breastfeeding on the way here.
Checking emails.
We're worried about our babies here. We're worried about like, I don't want him to be upset and like ruin the show, and
Well, my dogs are here and they'll ruin it first. So no worries. Like, that's the whole part about like my husband and I get it. We don't have kids, but we understand like things are just messy. Like, things are not going to be perfect whatsoever. And I feel like if you have that expectation that it's got to look perfect, you'll never make it. Like, you'll try to record your first podcast. You'll be so pissed. It'll just like, nothing will ever come out.
We don't edit anything. Like, it's just truly. Like, you put the song on the front end, the back end, that's it.
Done is better than perfect. That is like our full life mantra. I'm like, look, I would love to be a master in some areas. And I think that's important, but like, there's a whole lot of stuff that's just done, if you know what I mean. So you run multiple 7-figure businesses together while raising a family, 5 children. What would you say are some of the core rhythms or beliefs that have allowed you to scale as both CEOs and spouses together?
Oh man, core beliefs. I mean, like Rachel said, our faith, we're Christian based and that is something we lean on a lot and don't always understand, but that is our foundation, and that keeps us pointed in the right direction. So, and we like, we'll pray for growth in the business or expansion of the territory, and we're not given that. We're usually given like, can I cuss?
A problem? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You can cuss. I'm like, hell yes, fuck yes, you can cuss.
We're just given a bunch of shit to deal with, and we're not perfect by any means, So when we get the plate of crap to deal with, we have to go through it, and it's really hard, but we have the free will to choose to do that. And then we are blessed through that process. And it's very difficult. It's not like, we're just like given stuff. Like, we're given very difficult things to uphold and problems to solve. And there's so many problems. It's comical. Like, it is ridiculous, but that's what we asked for. And that's what we got. So we got it. I say we played for a full plate and then we have to eat it. A
lot of times when you like pray for something, you think it's going to show up one way and it's like so not. And like, if you ask for a big life, like, you're going to have a lot of challenges, like 1000%. So I think a lot of people like it's like one of those things, like, be careful what you wish for, but
get it.
Go and get it. Yeah. But like you have like, if you want a big life, you want to be able to have impact, you want to be able to like help other people, like a lot of times that looks like you going through more pain than other people, you know, and being able to like get back up and keep going. And I would say another thing that really helps us work together is like we don't interfere with like each other's strengths. Like I know what Drew's really good at, he knows what I'm really good at, and we've both just understood like if we're gonna divide and conquer, like we can't just be intercepting back into each other's lanes. And he like trusts me to make decisions on the fulfillment and like operations side, and then on the sales marketing side, like I know what's going on, but I don't get involved and try to figure out.
That took me a hot second to learn in the beginning. What's really helped is actually dividing time where I'm physically not in my husband's stuff anymore. Because in the beginning, what was happening is we'd be on meetings together where you're still hearing about each other's stuff and the ideas that are going out. And then it's like it was hard for me not to weigh in on what I thought. And I would say that was one of our biggest struggles in the beginning, was the realization of like, let them take it and fully respect them and know, even if it's not the way that you would do it.
Because it
like,
probably won't be.
It's going to be different, right? And sometimes you're going to be like, what?
That was dumb.
Yeah, that's like a really dumb way to do it.
Work.
You could just do it this way. But that is such a, like, it fully just kind of like oversteps them, and it becomes such a thing between, you know, a husband and wife, men and women, partners, like that you just don't feel that mutual respect. And I feel like that's where it can break a lot, is when you just don't respect the other person's decisions, like no matter if they're the ones that you want or not.
Right.
So you often say simplify to multiply. What does that look like practically when it comes to building and running multiple brands?
So it's hard because, like, you know, we're both in our own individual masterminds and that's another thing too.
Like you've joined them separately for your own education. Okay. Yeah.
We're constantly like, he's in other masterminds, I'm in other masterminds, and then we're in masterminds together.
Yep.
So, and we usually are just in like one at a time. Like we're not like spread across multiples, but the reason that I like that is because I have my own learning journey and my own way of learning, and so does he. So
for sure,
where I'm, you know, where I learn one way, he learns a different way. And then a lot of the time too, as we like, you know, are learning things independently, and we bring our own like translated version of that back, you know, it just sparks ideas. Like my ideas I get are different than the ideas he gets. And then from there we can like together brainstorm and mastermind together and then birth whatever that version of what we learned is. And so a lot of times with him, he likes to talk things out, and like he learns something and he has to tell me about it and I, you know, hear it out loud, where like I'm not like that. I can just like learn something and I'll just like independently work on it. So I've had to kind of learn how you know, okay, he's not asking me to create a task list to make that thing real. He just wants to talk about it.
Yep.
So
I need to like teach it. If I could teach it,
I'm like you.
I understand it. I need to talk it out. I talk much better than I write.
That's actually, I'm listening to a book right now. It actually helps a lot of people, more people than not, that's how they learn it, is to like reteach it and retalk it.
And then and she can just go super deep
and
like do that, and which is awesome.
And then I envy that.
Yeah, I
but
do too.
I'm like that
because like it's and for me, the more inputs, the better. So like I fly helicopters, and I recently got into that in aviation, and
love that. Actually want to do that.
They're wild. There's so many, that thing does not want to go straight. So there's so many things, you know, there's so many things physically happening that you have to deal with, and then you have to control all multiple planes of movement. And I love it. Like I get it, you know, and it is chaos, but I got it, you know?
Yeah.
And then I can be talked to, and I can be taught things, and I'm controlling this machine, and I'm thinking about and checking everything and listening to weather and talking to the traffic. And like and then while you're doing all this, oh, by the way, you got to call in and say you're 5 miles south as you approach the airport. And I'm like, I'm on it. He's like, you did that really good. I'm like, I can talk, you know, like I can do this and speak. But like, I'll have to go into the book soon, and then I'll have to like really, I can do it, but it doesn't come as naturally to me as like a bunch of inputs and like go.
I like think being in it.
I think for like the simplifying part of it is like how we do that is like, we'll learn things independently and share the ideas, but then we both have the discernment to know like what parts of that feel right for us to put into our business. Because we've been in masterminds where they're like, you know, stop trying to increase your LTV, like just focus on new. And I'm like, that doesn't feel right to me. Like that doesn't like, why would I want to keep adding new people when I could just like work with these people for a longer period of time, help them be more successful and get them to order more, you know, of hair extensions or, you know, whatever it is. Why continually like get new? And so like it's hard because sometimes in masterminds, like, you know, I think the ego can get in the way where you're like, yeah, we want to build a big sales team, or yeah, we want to do this. And at the end of the day, like we've done that, and it just, I would say, caused us way more stress and chaos and headaches than just simplifying things and doing things the way that we've realized that work better.
Yeah.
And then just like doubling down on what actually works, and instead of like trying to look cool or do bigger, have a bigger operation because it looks cool, but then your margins are like less.
Totally.
It's like such a waste of time.
I think a lot of people don't understand that. It's so easy. Even I get caught up in it. It's so easy online now. Everyone's just throwing out, I made this, I do this. This is what my year is. And I'm like, who's on the team?
Yeah.
What are you keeping? What are your ads? Like, how much have you spent? Like all of those things, because I used to get so caught up. I'm like, she made 20 million this year. And then I'm like, oh yeah, but she has a team of, 35 and their ad spend is X. And so it really is like, exactly.
22 million.
Yeah. You literally, ad spend 22 million.
There you go.
We're in the negative
marketing
right now,
joke.
guys. Exactly. But they get to put that out there. So it's really understanding, like, I love that you have done all of that as well when you go into these different businesses, because it's really asking the business owner, what type of business do you want? Like, I think that's so huge. And, my husband and I are in different masterminds as well. And I get in different rooms. And it is one of the big things is it's very easy to get overwhelmed and like you're drinking from a fire hose and you want to do all those big things. But then realistically knowing thyself and knowing how you guys work. So how would you say to like a more beginner person to figure that out when everything just feels, like big and shiny and new when you're coming into like a mastermind or learning or listening to podcasts?
Man, that's a great question.
I think you got to just pick, like the first thing that came to mind is like, you just have to pick what's going to make the biggest impact for you. Like what's going to solve the most problems that you're having right now, and like pick that thing. Because you might have this like bouquet of options that you want to do or should do. But what I see a lot, especially in entrepreneurs, is like, it's always exciting. You get that dopamine hit when you like start something new, but then you don't finish it. So then you go start this other thing new and then you don't finish that, so a lot of people are in the industry, or just any industry really, starting a bunch of stuff, but then not finishing, and they never really get to give that idea a full go. And so just picking the thing that's going to make the right impact, and then just earmarking those things that you like want to do, but they're not a priority right now.
Yeah, she said something really good. That's what we do. Yes, we want, money's all a part of it, and money's only a part of it because that's just what humans have decided to. It's people talking to each other, trading money for products and services. Like that's like the whole economy, So that's always happening everywhere, all the time, constantly. So instead of like, I'm going to get in there and make as many transactions, it's like, how can we make the most impact with our clients? And then the money is a byproduct. Like you got to have all your pricing and your numbers and your margins in order and have all that correct. But if we can go make an impact with the people that we're looking to serve, the money grows. So rather than chasing the bag, that's a byproduct of, it's like our little kids when they're playing football. It's like the leadership of that coach and that team, the communication is where they need to focus, not the score, because the score is the byproduct of what's happening over in the game. So we're trying to be in the game and drive impact for the humans that we work with, and then the money just works.
Totally, it's the result. Okay, so you guys are building what you call a full beauty empire. So instead of just one salon or just sticking to business coaching, what was the turning point that shifted your strategy from just being salon owners to multi-company founders?
The main thing I think is like, it was kind of like this thing. We didn't anticipate people wanting to like work with us longer than just one time. So we was like, okay, cool. Like we helped them fix their business. Their business is, 20 to 24% profit. Amazing. They have 2 days behind the chair. The rest of the time they can enjoy with their family and running their business remotely. So like that was like a huge win right there. Yeah. But then they were like, okay, so like, what else do you guys have? Like, what else can I do? What else can you help me do?
Pardon?
And because it was like
give us 5 minutes. We'll make some.
Well, the thing
We'll be
was,
right back.
the thing was, is it was like stuff that we were doing that we like already did, but we just hadn't shared with anybody.
You hadn't systematized it like you had systematized the other things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was more like we had started our own hair extension brand, and it was just inside of our salon. And because I was working for a global brand at the time, I didn't tell anybody about it because I just started with 5 colors. I just wanted to have 5 colors that I didn't have to reroute every appointment or low light or highlight to get the color back to where it was, because the quality of the product started changing. It looked the same, but it didn't perform the same. And because I was so deep in with the brand I was working with, I was like, I can't like tell people this. Like everyone in this company over here is going to hate my guts. And they still kind of do. But well, not everybody.
That's the cost.
Not everybody, but the owners. But everybody else, like they understood why we did it. So like doing that, it was just like, okay, when we launched it, which was at our March mastermind, like almost 2 years ago, I was like, oh, I hope maybe like 5 people want to build their brand. Well, like the entire room stood up.
We did a dope launch though. Like we did it like full stage.
Yeah.
But like we did it how you do a launch.
Yeah.
You know?
It was cool. But it was like, I just hope 5 people want to build their brand. Like, you know, and at
Lights
the
went
time,
out. Yeah.
yeah, the production was amazing.
It was real dramatic.
But we didn't have enough inventory to do more than that. Like
Okay.
we started like very small. Like we like bootstrapped all of our own growth. So
When we launched, did we have that shitty little?
yeah, we had those crappy little
So we
carts
had this
from Container
big
Store.
launch, and then these crappy little carts.
I'm talking
like,
like just a little, like the craft
dice
carts,
roll.
like what you put like craft supplies in, like in
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
closet.
totally.
Yeah. So that's
For
like
like
what
a
we
child.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, we had like maybe a few packs of everything. And then we sold out. Like, and then it became a thing. Well, like, shit, now we can't. Now they want more. We don't have more.
Then you're
like
out
we
of
have to go
products.
get more, you know?
Like,
So it's like you're like when you launch something, I think we underestimated like how great it would have how great it really went. And then I think we severely underestimated like how long all of these people would be working with us. And so we really like started helping them create their brand. And then now that they're making more money, they're like, well, what do I do with it? Now I have to pay taxes on it or I have to go invest it. Like, how do you guys do investments? Then we started like, okay, well, I guess we need to teach them how we do investments. And so it was just like this natural progression of like what we do. And it wasn't hard to teach because we already do it. And we're like, you know, it's like normal for us. But to be able to help them do it too. And that's really what they were wanting. It's just like, what do you guys, like, how do you guys do what you do? And so that's just kind of how it happened. A lot of the people that are in our communities, they're married, they have kids or they want to have kids. And, you know, they all have teams, they all have people counting on them, you know, to make it work and to be successful. And so it was just like a very natural fit for all of the different things that we could show them how to do. And so we have a program called CEO Club, which is just like our private mastermind. We don't like post it on Instagram or anything, but like it's more of a back end mastermind like in our programs.
Invitation kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like anybody that's doing, you know, $1 million or more, like that's the mastermind that they could be a part of.
Yep.
And so we teach them how to do like tax-free strategy, be able to do investments, really like giving them like executive assistant playbooks, nanny playbooks, like all the different stuff to just make their life easier.
Yeah.
We're not so much focusing on like the salon anymore in that program. We're more so focusing on like, how do you run multiple businesses without like killing each other? So like, you know, just depending on where people are at in their business journey, like we 1,000% have a place that like we could guide them to, you know. And then the next thing is like, well, what's next? Or not everybody wants to go all the way, you know, down that path. Some people want to like take a breather and pause and enjoy that for a few years. But like we have people that have been in programs with us and then they circle back 2 years later or a year later, you know, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to do the next thing. So us doing all that stuff, like it just kind of naturally fit. We didn't really like plan on building multiple companies together. It was more so just like, we want to help the salon owner create multiple income streams.
It's kind of evolved that way.
Yeah. Well, the problems kept clearly coming up that were the same problems over and over again. So for the entrepreneurs that are listening, I think a lot of people struggle with something that it sounds like you're really good at. So you have identified the main problems. How do you guys take the time and create, like, what does it look like if someone's listening right now who's like, oh, I get that problem all the time. I would love to solve that. What does that creative process look like to create something? Like, do you go, hey, this week, let's set aside time to solve this problem for this business owner, so that now you just said you've kind of got like a full suite that covers pretty much every problem that's coming up. How do you guys take that? What does that process look like to create that?
I think it starts with like responsibility. Like, so it starts with, rather than early on in the days when something would happen in the business, we kind of get very blamey. Oh, it's the economy, it's this, it's that, it's this person. I think in the beginning, like, we took responsibility for the problem. You know, it's like, okay, that person did that. We hired that person. That is on us. So that allows us to actually have a stable ground to begin to develop. Is it our hiring process? Like, let's go through that. And then we would go really from the bottom up or top down, whatever, you know, and get to the root of the issue and solve the problem rather than the symptoms of the problem. So our problems create symptoms, you know, are we solving symptoms, or is there a problem that's causing those symptoms? And we really have to discuss it and understand what's happening. And then once we can understand what's happening, we actually solve it, rather than, because if you try to solve all the symptoms, it won't solve the problem. Then it's just a shit show, you know, nothing moves. But when you solve the problem, the actual problem, I think of it like a water hose. It's like the water hose unkinks, and then it's just like, whew, then you see growth. And this was like a mythological idea to me for a long time, until we began to do that. We actually were solving the problems, not the symptoms, you know, and it started with like responsibility. So that's kind of the general way we do that. And then Rachel will go and, like, you probably go into like the tactical, you can go deeper into the tactical.
Well, I'll be like 1,000 feet deep on like the problem and like figuring out, okay, from the owner point of view, like, what's that experience like? From the client point of view, what's that experience like? And then the team, because a lot of times, like, the client is going to go take this system or whatever it is back to the team. So then, like, how can we make the system, the process, whatever it is, like, the simplest? That way that person doesn't fuck it up. Because sometimes that could happen where it's like, it can't be like this super complex system or process. Like, it has to be simple. It has to be easily explainable, because I need this owner to understand it so well that she can go teach it. And then that person doesn't forget 50% of what she just learned.
Totally.
So
and you like know it and understand it.
So my Google Drive is like very elaborate, very organized, but I have like all the different processes and things like all laid out. And then we allow our clients to like basically submit ideas. Like, if they're like, hey, I'm having this problem, or if I see something like on a recurring basis coming up, like, I'll go on my own and just make a resource for that thing. Even if like it's not a common problem for me or my business, it you know, if 3 or more people in the community are having that come up, like, I want to get ahead of it and like be able to give them something.
And like what we do is, so identifying the problem and making sure that we're not going 100 feet deep on a symptom, you know, so making sure she doesn't go way down deep and start building things for a system, and then it won't work. Like, we've been able to identify that. And so it starts there. And then once we identify the problem and develop the document or the overview of the system itself, like the checklist or whatever that system's going to be, we make that. And then that will go onto a calendar, and that calendar will go into people, and we'll hold the people responsible for said process. So our cam guy, Josh, as he's editing, it's this many units a week. It is, here are the shoot days. Here's what you need to do at the end of the day. Here's the weekly production meetings that we have that Sydney's on, and like the whole production crew's on. And then we go over the numbers. We go over just kind of state of like what's going on. Like, does our content suck? Is it good? Like, how the ads doing? How the this or that? And then we go and implement and deploy actions. And then we research the KPI. And then next week it goes again. So I think problem, tactical checklist, or documentation on like what you're going to do to continuously mold the problem that you're trying to work on, and then calendar people. You know, I think that's how it completes the loop of that.
I think a lot of people will like create they'll create something to fix the problem, but then they just like never check in and see like how it's
Let's
going.
implement it.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of that before. I'm not a super systematized person, and I'm working so hard on it. But it's like sticking to, you created it, now you must go back to it weekly and hold people accountable.
We kind of have this thing we do. It's like I do, we do, you do. So like I'll do something or I'll explain something and then I'll do it with that person and then I'll let them do it. So that way I make sure like they got it. Because a lot of times it was just like I do, we do, and that was the end of it. And then like adding the, you do part of it, like that actually made sure that, okay, now that thing lives with that person and like they got it, And also just asking the team, like, do you got it or do you have questions,
Yeah.
And then just like not
supporting
making
them
them
around that.
feel dumb if they have questions. Like all questions are good questions,
Totally.
and then just making sure that like you're available, you're not like too busy to check in on that person.
Yeah.
Which is the calendar for us.
Yeah.
Because if they come to us between the set time, then it gets,
So you
rough.
calendar in time for that specifically
Mhm.
already. Okay. So for entrepreneurs who want to build real wealth beyond their business, what would you say are the first steps towards thinking like an owner instead of an operator? 2026 is the year you launch your business. It's the time that you finally stop thinking about that big idea and you actually put it out into the world. There is no better time than fresh new energy when people are excited and they're excited to learn more and buy what you have. You guys, maybe you have that idea that you can't shake. Maybe it's something that everyone tells you that you should do. With Shopify in 2026, that's when you're finally going to make it happen. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. And you guys, my company, Glossy, is among them. And you better believe I have my Shopify notifications turned on so I can hear that chime every single time a sale comes in. Shopify gives you all the tools to easily build your dream store. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to match your brand. Setup is fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines and help you edit product photos. Marketing is built in too. Create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. As you grow, Shopify grows with you. Handle more orders, expand to new markets, and do it all from the same dashboard. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/happy. Go to shopify.com/happy. That's shopify.com/happy. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. Okay, ladies, I have to tell you that the bane of my existence has been shopping for bras and underwear because I wear so many different styles of outfits. I'm always dressing up, but I also want to be comfortable and I want them to disappear underneath your clothes so there's no panty lines, and I can also wear them underneath any type of top that I want. And I can tell you that my life has become so much easier because I have found the Fits Everybody collection from Skims, and there's nothing like it, you guys. It feels incredible. It molds to your body, and it's like you're not wearing anything underneath. If you haven't tried these yet, you absolutely have to. You guys have been wearing them for about 6 months, and I've absolutely replaced all of my bras and underwear. So if you want your life to get easier, let me tell you, I'm going to share some of my favorite products. So I consider myself a bralette connoisseur. So I got the Fits Everybody Triangle bralette, and I'm amazed at this product. The brand provides amazing support and lift, but I don't feel like it's suffocating me at all or cutting in anywhere. So I don't know what kind of magic they put in this fabric, but it's like nothing I have ever felt. It's buttery, it's soft, it's beautiful. I love the colors. Shop Skims Fits Everybody collection at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. That's Earn Your Happy. And if you're looking for the perfect gifts for everyone on your list, the SKIMS Holiday Shop is now open at skims.com. Are you looking to take your business's marketing to the next level? Meet Brevo, the all-in-one marketing and CRM platform designed to help you connect with customers, drive engagement, and grow your business. With Brevo, you can manage all your customer interactions in one place, nurture leads through their built-in CRM, and reach them through email and SMS, and boost retention with powerful automations. Effortlessly create personalized multi-channel campaigns that ensure every single customer gets the right messages at the right time. And that's not all. Brevo offers AI-driven personalization, advanced analytics, seamless integrations, and more, giving you everything you need to market smarter and not harder. Get started for free today or use code HAPPY to save 50% on starter and business plans for the first 3 months of an annual subscription. Head to www.brevo.com/happy and take your marketing further with Brevo. What would you say are the first steps towards thinking like an owner instead of an operator?
You got to make sure that you're treating your business like a business. Like, you can love your people. Like, I laugh, I have fun, I like have a great time with my teams. But at the end of the day, like, it's my responsibility to make sure that business is profitable. And like, that right there is like the main focus, is not operating just to get everybody to like you and getting everyone to stay, because not everyone's going to like you and not everyone's going to stay. But getting your business profitable so that you can actually build wealth through your business. Your business is just a income source. That's it. It's an income stream. I think every entrepreneur, every business owner who aspires to be wealthy needs to have multiple streams of income, because that way you have like something to fall back on if that one thing isn't going well. Mm-hmm. And so like, even us, like, we don't have just one income stream, and I don't really know if I ever have, like, since I became an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Like, I've always wanted to have at least 2 or 3.
Same.
And that way it's like, okay, if this one, because I feel like it's hard to get everything like growing at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like, you'll have a few things that are growing, and then you'll have this other thing that's just sucking you dry of every ounce of money, energy, mm-hmm. mental capacity that you've got. And
we all know what they are right now.
Yes, we all can think of what they are. And so like, that way you're getting ahead like over time, and you're not just like constantly falling behind. So I think it's just really important for people to like just like figure out what's your main moneymaker, and like, how can you get that thing scaled as quickly as possible, you know, to where you can then, you know, either keep it as an income stream, sell it for a multiple, you know. But if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to go make something else. You're going to go do something else. Like, Drew and I never really, I don't think we're going to like just, you know, retire and go live by the beach somewhere and not work. Like, I can't even take a bath. Like, I just get like so bored. I have no idea. I'm just like, is it over? You know, can this be over yet? But you just have to figure out like, what's the thing that's going to get you where you want to go, and not be afraid to pull the plug on something if it's just not possible, or you can't give your energy to it, you know? And like, that's sometimes hard.
Having that going on, but also understanding like financial structures, like understanding, you know, your policies, and understanding like ways to hold money and move money legally and do all that. Like, that's a whole multi-day thing if you're looking to learn it, you know. And I think understanding how these things work, and then the right types of accounts to start to move money into, that way you can keep your money, move your money, and turn it into more money, but also not tricked, but like, what we're told to do with your money is typically incorrect, you know. And we had to like figure this out kind of on our own through mistakes, and we've got our family bank all in place and all these types of things, but it was, you know, we didn't get it right the first time. We've started multiple accounts and then put money into these accounts that were not the right types of accounts to do what we wanted to do, but we would just keep going, and then we figured it out and built a really sophisticated family banking system for like our kids and ourselves, and we had to learn all that, you know.
That stuff takes so much time, and it's
a lot
so
of time.
Layered.
It is.
And a lot of times the money has come in, and then you're like, oh shit, like what on earth am I supposed to be doing? And it is mind blowing, all the different things that you can do with money, all of the different things that wealthy people do to grow their money. That was one of the most eye-opening things for Chris and I when we, you know, at a young age, our network marketing company really took off, and we just were like, what on earth do you do? And thankfully we had someone that we were connected to who taught us, sounds like what you're helping teach a lot of people, which is mind blowing if you don't know what to do with that cash, because you're losing a lot of it then.
For sure.
Like, there's so much that you could be keeping or investing that people don't know at all, that you've never even heard of, you
people
guys.
People try to take it from you.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. For
you
sure.
You don't protect it.
Yep. Okay. So you also have an event, you have a podcast. Tell me a little bit about those.
Our podcast is called Brand Talk with Rachel and Drew. We get together every Thursday, and we'll have either Rachel will like plan something, you know? And then
Love
we'll,
Rachel's
we'll,
brains.
we'll
Yeah.
do that, and she'll give me like a documentation, and you know,
Yeah.
and then
And I'll like be like, did you go
and then
over it?
we'll
And he
do
like
it-
glances at it. He's like, yeah, I read it. I'm like, you didn't read it.
and then like the next episode will be just like, you know, nothing, and like we'll just talk, you know, and those are typically pretty good. But people do want the tactical. They're like, give me some juicy business stuff, and then
Yep.
she knows what the girls want. Typically, we have a very large female based audience, and then we'll do that. And then I want to make sure that they get to like know us, and then we'll just like goof off for an episode, and then I mean our whole world is kids and business, you know, hobbies and stuff like that. You know.
Drew has more hobbies than me, for sure. Like every time he starts a new hobby, I'm like, here we go again.
I'm
Here's
pretty
another
lo- I'm
hobby.
pretty
What
locked-
are they,
I'm pretty locked in.
helicopter?
Flying helicopters, jiu-jitsu,
Well,
fitness.
It was
Okay.
funny because
Yeah.
like we were doing this like family interview
Music.
for our son to like get into the same school that his sister goes to, and you know they asked both of us like, so what are y'all's hobbies?
Like, well,
And Drew, yeah, immediately he's like, well, and he starts talking about all his hobbies, like listing them out. I do jujitsu, I fly helicopters, I work out a lot, I'm learning Spanish. He like has all these things, and then like, Rachel, what do you like to do in your spare time? And I'm like,
Systematize our lives.
and he's
I like to build documentations.
no. And then I go, I like to decorate things, I think. And then Drew just starts laughing. And I'm like, I need to get some hobbies.
She's like, wow.
Because a lot of times I'll make my hobby becomes like a business.
I know.
You know, which is like, I don't need to do that all the time.
I'm the same.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like,
I did that.
We could
I'm
do
gonna
this.
teach people this.
I know. It's like some of those things like just need to be like mine, you know.
Totally.
But,
sure.
Mhm.
but yeah, SalonCon, we got an event coming up. We're excited to have you there.
I'm so
It's-
excited to be
SalonCon's
there.
It's going to be in Miami in January.
Mm-hmm.
So January 24th through the 27th. And it's going to be at the Wynwood, Man and Wynwood event, which is like this awesome convention center. So we're excited about that. And our
Train.
events just keep doubling in size. So like this is the first time we're doing it at a convention center. We have normally done like cute hotels, but you know, this is for sure like going to be our biggest SalonCon event yet. I'm excited about it because, you know, it's for the whole salon team. It's
Yeah, who
not,
should go to that?
yeah, it's not just for like the owner.
Okay.
It's for them, it's for their spouse, it's for their manager, their front desk person, it's for their A players.
Okay.
You know, I always tell people like leave your B and C players at home. Like leave them at home.
Yeah.
But bring your A players because like all those stylists that want to become educators, they want to teach classes, they want to start teaching classes for this owner's extension brand. Like that is like now what you can create by learning these different things is like you can create other income streams for your stylists. That's how you get stylists to stay.
It's also for stylists if they want to know like how to level up, like what's the next, like what's the state of the industry, you know?
Yeah.
Because after talking to, oh boy,
Thousands.
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of salon owners over the last years, personally, you know,
Yep.
like we really have our ear to the ground on what's going on out there.
For
you know?
sure.
Very much so.
Which is
So-
vital because so many people don't realize how behind they are in so many things.
Mhm.
And again, how many new opportunities there are to make money that I know that you guys have for people.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell someone they're behind without being like, you know, it's
I
like,
know.
like you don't want to tell them, you don't want to be rude or anything, but there's folks that are behind the curve on certain things in the Northeast part of the country primarily.
Look, I'm
You
from the
know.
Midwest.
You
I
know?
can go back and be like, y'all are way behind.
What is going on here?
You guys, nobody's doing this anymore, and here's why. You know,
But there are people in those towns that are. I'll talk to them. They're like, no one's doing this. I'm
Yeah.
like, because everyone's afraid to do anything different, and they want
Very.
a different result. You're gonna have to do something different.
Or they'll have like a limiting belief of like what they can earn and
Primarily
like,
money,
where
yeah.
they're at.
Yes.
And that's one of the biggest things I see
If I had a
and I
nickel,
hear
Yeah.
is like small town mindset.
Yep.
Like 1,000%. Like there are people out there that are paying X amount of dollars for that same thing and you're charging $25. Like I don't get it, you know, but like helping people see their own worth, I think is important too. And I think that's a lot of like what we do is like helping them see their own potential and like the potential that is inside their business. So that's what SalonCon's for is like the person that values beauty and brains. It's not like this, there's so many like there's so many events in the industry that everybody just gets shit faced at and it's and just
You guys,
the-
I've been to one and spoke, and my speaking thing was at the end, and everyone was just drunk or gone.
yeah.
no.
And I traveled,
man.
like it was like a big thing, and they're like 1,000 people. I think I had 25 people in the room of 1,000.
Damn.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Well, because then people are hungover and they don't show up for sessions. It's just a disaster. So like that's not what our events are like. Like everybody's there, they're learning, they're developing, they're learning either maybe mindset stuff to like be able to charge more, earn more, provide more. They're learning hands-on extension trainings. The owners are there learning how to literally like build family banking out. Like that's just stuff that nobody teaches in the industry, like nobody. And so like depending on what they're there to learn, like there are classes for everybody in the team. So SalonCon happens once a year. We have other events that we do. We have a power couple event that we do once a year. We have a Babes in Business mastermind that we do once a year. Those are a lot smaller, like 50 people. But, you know, it's just like based on where everybody's at, like I don't think everybody should go to a power couple event or everybody should go to this other event. But I think based on where they're at, like there's something for mostly everybody, I'd say.
So trying to arrange a helicopter entrance for us at Salon.
I think that's
great.
A waste of money.
See?
I know.
Maybe
we just had helicopters at our mastermind. It was wonderful.
They're the coolest thing ever.
I'm like, Drew, that's too flashy. Don't do that.
I'm like, it's not. We just take a modest little helicopter. Nothing crazy.
I want them still to be flying it while you come down
from
the
the
helicopter.
Yes.
He's like, yes, I see this
That'd
for
be
me.
good. We'd have 2 pilots. So I would bring it in and then he could and like just hold there for a second just to make it dramatic.
This is what salon girls want.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I guess.
Like, no, it's not.
Hair that doesn't tangle.
I can say,
helicopter.
you know, from somebody truly like I feel like I've gotten to see what you guys have done, which is so crazy to be able to say because, you know, when I'm from the Midwest originally, and it is where Anna is it's tough with the mindset there. Like I left when I was in fitness and wanting to compete and I wanted to be on covers and I wanted to start my own gym. I left because everyone was like, why? How? You think you could do that? You're going to charge how much? You want what kind of life? And it was it was such a challenging place to live and try to grow a business, especially as a female. And when I was looking for someone to do my hair, I literally can't remember how I found her, but I'm like, whoa, this salon seems like very high end for a small town. What is going on? And so I went, got booked with her because I had like kind of said that I wanted to go there, and I had messaged and whatever, said a couple things about like, I would really love to like chat with the salon owner or work with the salon owner. And she ended up doing my hair and we ended up talking all about business. And I don't think she had been able to talk to other women about business,
right?
You know, for a while. And I was like, whoa, like she really had her shit together.
She's great.
And her salon was running really well. I was like, this is crazy for here. Like it was such a standout for the area. And so now that I also get to see, oh, wow, like what she's gotten to learn and work with, and the mindset piece was really huge because I knew that she had to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
She's
really cool.
amazing. Her and her husband and their daughter. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And just to see like what she's doing and everything is great. She's a great leader for her team.
So to be able to see that in a small town though, and to be able to have such a successful business charging way more than the area is used to and still be so successful and still be full of clientele. Like, I just want people to hear that who are thinking, oh, well, I don't know if that's possible for me. Like, this is small town America. This is definitely where people do not want to pay a lot. They'll tell you that that's not going to work. And it still worked. And she's doing incredible. So
that's like to assume that no one in that town has any type of success. You know, they're there. And they want the best. They want the best.
Yeah.
You know, and they will pay for it. And they're looking, and then the business owners are like, oh, that's not me. And they won't go there. They'll go to the girl who's like, that's me. I am the best. This is where you'll find the top quality, the top services. I am the best, you know, and I charge for it.
We also know, like, you know, no matter what town you're in, there are those people, especially if it's like, you know, I knew there had to be somebody at that point because the Packers live there, and I'm like, there's Packer wives. Who do they go to?
Right.
That's literally what I looked for. I'm like, where do these 12 women go? I think that's how I ended up finding it. I don't know.
That's awesome. I think for the person that like is doing that and is going to go out there and like say, hey, like, this is what we do here. Like, it takes a lot of boldness, a lot of confidence, and like pep talking yourself to like get to that point where you're like, okay, no one's doing this, but I know in my gut, like, this is what I need to do. And this is like how I have to show up. And, you know, that of course people are going to talk about you, I'm sure. Like people are going to talk about you if you're doing something different than everyone
matter
else.
what.
But there's always somebody out there like who's going to be able to see that, and it immediately draws them to you.
Yeah, and becoming the best in the world at what you do, and like genuinely being that. Like if you're actually that, and you really are that.
It's the obvious choice.
You have the you just have it. You have that thing, and they're like, "What's that thing?" It's like being absolutely excellent. Like everything is excellent, and that was what I didn't quite get. I tried to do that in my gym. You know, my heart was there, but I wasn't that. You know, and there's people doing much better. But when you are the best in the area, no matter what you do, and you're the best at your marketing, you're the best at email campaigns and conversions, and you're the best at creating content, and you're best with people, and you're best at staying organized, and you're best at hair, or whatever your thing is, you're just the best. You'll crush it. You know?
I just also want to say, as a couple, it's so beautiful to watch that. You know, you had said I wasn't the best at my gym, but you took what you're best at and saw how that could make what you're doing now the best. So it does take a bit of like stepping out of your ego and going, okay, I'm not great over here. Who is great over here? Or how could I partner in my business with somebody? Or who's got the skill set that I don't have? Because I think there's a lot of people who aren't willing to be like, let's be honest, like I suck at organization. Like I hire people based off of like, are you organized? But how organized? You know what I mean? So I think that that's huge that you guys both like really like owned your lanes. You know what you're good at. You know what you're not good at. You're not going to spend a lot of time in the stuff you're not great at. You're going to go hire someone, or you're going to try to be more, you're going to try to learn more about that thing to make up for your skill set. So I love that the both of you seem like you've really just like gotten into your zones of genius and hired the rest out. So
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What is something that you want to leave with everybody?
I think the thing that comes to mind for me is like, doesn't matter like what you've gone through and like everybody goes through pain, everybody goes through problems. You know, you're going to have people that are very close to you that betray you, but like you can't allow that to like knock you down, like, and not show up like who you truly are. And so for me, like, especially going through the traumatic stuff that I went through and like becoming a widowed single mom overnight and like having to completely rewrite my life and like completely redo everything that I thought my life was going to be like, you're stronger than you think, really. And obviously for me, my faith has been a huge factor as to how my life has been able to look the way that it does now and feel the way that it feels now. And I think a lot of times out there, you can see people that look successful or see people that, you know, it's like this illusion and really their marriage is falling apart. Their businesses are not profitable. They could potentially hate each other. I mean, like, you know, with Instagram, objects are not always what they seem, you know? So for us, like we prioritize our marriage first. We prioritize our, you know, our faith, our family. And like, as long as those three things are good, like, doesn't matter if we're winning at business, losing at business, like we are going to be A-okay, you know? And we could always, we always say like, if we lost everything tomorrow, like we would just rebuild.
Yep.
And we know that because we would rebuild together.
Yeah. And I would say, dream bigger, you know, like if you would have told me 10 years ago, we would be where we're at doing what we're doing, and I'm flying helicopters and we're doing, you know, we're scaling a 9-figure company, you know, like that'll happen. And it's wild, you know, so I would have never have thought in a million years. And you hear people say this, it's like, oh, you know, and I've heard people say this when I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, shut up. Like, it's nonsense. But your dreams have to be so big that you can harness a team has their goals can live inside of your dream. And who do you got to become to facilitate that? You know, because if you can be clear on what you want to do by impacting people, I say the world's made of people. So it's people. And then you can keep that in your crosshairs and you can keep moving towards it and then just be relentless in the pursuit of this crazy, crazy goal. Like you'll get there.
Do you guys still feel freaked out sometimes? And how do you deal with that?
Freaked out how so?
By the big dream. Like, have you ever just taken really big leaps and been like, oh damn, here we go.
Over and over and over and over and over and over again.
I'm over here saying no.
Like,
she's like, no.
I don't get
He's
scared.
like, yeah.
Like, I don't really get scared of anything because I just know like, okay, well, like it feels right to do it.
Now.
You know what I mean? I always say this too. Like if we have clients that are like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm like, are you nervous or is it really just excitement?
Should be.
You know, because like if you're not, if you're not risking anything, like, where there's risk, there is also reward. But if you don't
There's
risk
no risk,
anything,
there's probably not a big reward whatsoever.
You got to risk
No.
it for the biscuit, y'all.
Yeah, really
risk it for the
do.
biscuit.
It's a
You
good
know what I mean?
biscuit.
Yeah, and it's it's more suitable now. Like we can plan better. Like we can see the numbers work better. But earlier on, it was I felt like every other, and this is probably just me freaking out. And Rachel's like, "Yeah, we're good." I'm like, "How?" She's like, "We'll figure it out." I'm like, I got to figure that out. Like we don't have it figured out. I got to figure that part out. That's my part.
Yeah.
And we did, but it was always just like, I remember we did our first little event in Cabo, and it was just like, oh my gosh, like we're doing this. And then we did another one, and you got to pay crazy deposits on these things. And our first event, when we launched this thing, I think we had to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands. We were getting hustled by the Marriott. They were just smoking us on fees that now we know you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what? For what? You're gonna watch us load in for $7,000? No. And then now it's like, no, we're not paying that.
Exactly.
I think with every let's say mistake you make, or every issue that you come across and you get on the other side of it, you're smarter and wiser. And now when we plan events, we're like, okay,
we know
we're coming into the conversation more seasoned than the last one. We're always learning. And I think for people too, just to not lose yourself in the process of becoming successful, always stay true to who you are. And if he wants to enter SalonCon on a helicopter, that's just Drew. He just wants to do that, just as a guy. It's not like he doesn't give a shit what other people think about him. It's just for himself, that would make his own day. But I see a lot of people online that just they flaunt a bunch of stuff. They they're doing all that stuff, but they're absolutely not impressing anyone in the process. They're just becoming more unrelatable by the second. And I think that's why I think people with people with millions and millions of followers, I personally feel I like my smaller audience, because I feel like I'm very relatable to them. And Drew too, just because you just don't want to be so just far from where you once were. I think you're allowed to evolve for sure. But as far as your values, your morals, who you are, keeping all that stuff tightly close to you. So that way, when you look back at your younger self, you can still see yourself, but you're just the big sister version now.
So where can we get more of you guys? I know that you do live trainings every Monday, and this is for the person who wants to pretty much do everything that we have chatted about. That's kind of a great entry point for them. So would they follow you first on Instagram? What does that look like? Or I can also put a link in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely. I think give us a follow on Instagram just to keep an eye on what we got going on. Rachel Page XO, and mine is M Drew Thomas, Michael Drew Thomas. And then we do a live training. Yeah, we do a
blueprint training, for people that want to build their business and their brand, or both. Some people are they've got a great business and they just want to build their brand of extensions or retail. Perfect. Some people, they want to build their own brand, but they just don't have the cash flow to do that. So want to focus on the business first and then build the brand after the fact. But yeah, I think that's a great place for people to just meet us in real life, meet us and ask questions. We have a ton of free resources as well. So just following us on Instagram and seeing what we got going on, it's probably the best thing.
For sure. And we'll be doing this, depending on when this airs, I believe the following Monday, we'll be doing a blueprint live.
Okay,
so
cool.
they can register for that. They'll get some reminders, and then we'll be live, and then we can answer their questions and then just kind of show them a little bit behind the curtain.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. This was so fun.
Thanks for having us.
I have a podcast because I love learning. So thanks for teaching me some good stuff today too.
Yeah,
thanks
for
for
having
having
us.
Yeah.